Albert AWOL, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. Thank you for joining us on episode 161 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with Trevor and Damon. What's up, guys?
I'm on a Chromebook. I don't know. We'll see. That's what's up.
You're still here.
So, you're still here.
I'm still here. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. Hopefully the whole episode.
Yeah,
let's hope so. We were just talking before the show started where we're making new pins. We're very excited about these new pins. I'm excited about the new pins. So
I'm semi-excited. Sort of excited.
Only semi-excited?
Well, it depends how heavy they are. I'll have to do a weigh on them when they come in.
So wait, do you want them to be not as heavy as the old ones were? Or?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll see what we can do. I mean, the problem is you don't want them to be too small, right? I mean, I want them to be a nice
I'd like them to be light. Can we get like Iron Man titanium ones?
Oh my goodness.
Adamantium? Like something that's nice and light? Like that would be cool.
I mean,
yeah, because that's going to be cost effective.
I was going to say, not unless we get more people to sign up for the Patreon.
Dude, how cool would titanium ones be, though? Oh my goodness, that would be.
I mean, that would be pretty cool. I don't even know if they make pins out of titanium. I mean, I don't think the company we use to make pins, I don't think does that. But who knows? They might. I don't know. It's a good question. So we're gonna have some new pins to give out sometime soon here. We want to keep our giveaways fresh, so we got some different stuff we're doing, which is fun. But yeah, so I was telling the guys that I'm like eagerly awaiting what the mock-up is going to look like, and I'm sure I'll probably share it to somebody. I don't know if we're going to share it to the broader group yet, but once we get it, we'll see. Yeah. So.
I really want to talk about these costumes. I just don't know if I can contain myself. I hate when you put that stuff so late in the game.
What? So you want to skip over listener questions and go right to all the way?
No. I'm just saying that
I did put it on there specifically for you, Damon. So that was for you. So
I'm a little like upset though that it hasn't been getting like a lot of run. Like I haven't seen a lot of discussion about it. I guess there's just not enough information for there to be discussion. I think that's maybe the problem. I don't know. Maybe. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk through it, right? Yeah. So, do you want to start talking about listener questions or anything random we want to talk about before we get started?
Well, just to put the thought out for everyone, we're thinking more and more about the meetup, and as Tom was saying, pins are going to be a thing. So, if you guys are wanting some pins, that's a good reason to come to the meetup. Also meeting us too, but who cares about that?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't care about meeting me.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, we do have the meetup coming up, so we're going to be trying to finalize a lot of the details around it. So, what really would help, and I think Tom, maybe we need to. Or we have the Facebook event out there, right? But we need people to start confirming because we need to figure out how many numbers we have, which will determine what we can and can't do. So we need people to start thinking about that a little bit.
Yeah, we are going to set a deadline on this, obviously. So, and I don't think we've decided necessarily what the final giveaway is going to be for that event, right? Like we don't know. I don't know what we're going to do as a special thing yet, but we'll figure that out. But yeah. So if you do plan on coming, please let us know in that event on Facebook so that we know that you're coming or not coming, and we can plan accordingly because we don't want to get stuck where we're just Trevor, I don't know if you said this on the podcast or if this was an after or before where you said if we might just end up at everybody meet up at Chicken Guy or something.
That would be fine. Chicken Guy.
Yeah, awesome. It would be, but the part of it is, if we don't.
No, the poutine. First of all, it wouldn't be Chicken Guy. We'd make Trevor eat bad poutine. That's.
I had some bad poutine last week, so I'm not foreign to it. So. Yeah,
so there is bad poutine in Canada. It's just
Not everyone makes it the same, and sometimes you get it really comes down to the gravy. But yeah, we can go down a rabbit hole with that.
Regardless, we'll find a place to meet up in Disney Springs. It's a big place. There's we can We'll find a place. I'm not too worried. It would just be nice to have our own space, where we can all hang out and just relax. And
yeah, I feel like I may come. Like, I don't know. It just is really going to depend on. I looked at the sports schedule. Wait, when is this again?
Was it May 13th?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the actual meetup is the 14th, right?
Yeah. I'm there from the 13th to the 16th. So I arrive on the 13th and then I leave on the 16th.
That's going to be interesting. Wish I had my phone on me. I have to remember that and check my phone.
Yep. Well, hopefully you can come. I think that would be fun. I mean, I would also, I think it would be fun to record some stuff there. Like, I don't know what, like not an episode necessarily, but like it might be fun to just record some things while we're there.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was the intent. We just lost Damon. So for those of you listening, he has a little Chromebook that because his computer's and I guess it gave up on trying to do the podcast. So maybe he's coming back in here.
Is he coming back?
Yeah.
No, look, there he is again. He's back.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're going to assume that Damon's going to just drop at some point here. So
yeah, that's hopefully not.
I got 5 minutes in. I felt like that was impressive on an 8 gig Chromebook, but
yeah.
I'm going to rush to talk about everything I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about bidets. Let's talk about bidets.
All right. Well, what were you saying before though? Before we lost Damon, Trevor. What were you saying? We were talking about the meetup still.
Yeah, or just
recording
we wanted,
something. Yeah.
Yeah, we just want to know, who all is coming because,
Dude, 4 people are going to come. I'm going to tell you who's coming. Charles is going to come, and then 3 other people. I'm calling 4 people max.
All right.
Okay.
Well, hopefully more than 4 people.
I'm being realistic. Well, 4 families. Let's put it that way.
One of the people that wants to come is my mom, and I'm like, no, please don't do that.
Why?
I don't know. Just feels
your
weird.
mom can come.
I mean, if she wants to, I guess, but just weird.
Tom doesn't want her there because then she'll tell us embarrassing stories about him.
Oh, that's true.
Well, no. She's going to tell us that he's never been to river country. That's what's going to happen.
I agree with you guys. We've been over this before. I don't think I've been to river country. She's the one that told me I was. I don't believe her.
Well, we're going to have to really grill her. We're going to have to LA law her.
Yeah. Well, I want to see some photo evidence of it because I don't believe it. Like I have no recollection of this. She never mentioned it until I mentioned river country one time, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you were there," and I was like, "No, I didn't." And she's like, "Yeah, you did." And I was like, "Okay, well, I don't believe you. I've never seen pictures of this. I've never heard you say anything about it. So I don't know."
All right, can we talk about bidets?
I mean, so you want to skip over, you want to just go straight to Francisco's question?
Kind of.
All right. Well, Francisco asked, should Disney add bidets to their deluxe resorts if it goes with the theme? I think they should add bidets regardless of whether it goes with the theme.
Why does it need to be themed?
Like Timon and Pumbaa, like shooting you with a hose, and like that's the themed.
That feels wrong.
I don't know how I feel about bidets though. Like I thought when we moved into this house, I would kind of like go down that route. But why is it that the water that comes out of the hose by your toilet seem dirty, even though it's the same water coming out of your sink?
I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I think that's a you thing.
No, I know what he's saying though.
Not.
Like when you open like the back tank of your toilet and you look in there, even though that water's clean, it's just kind of weirdly.
Here's the question. So if you unhooked the hose from your tank of your toilet, so it's just coming out of the wall, would you fill a cup and drink water out of that?
I mean, you technically could.
That's to Trevor. No, that's to Trevor that said it's just me. I'm just wondering.
I mean, it's so. No, I've had to do this actually. Like we've had to split a line.
Drink water out of the toilet?
No, not drink out of the toilet. No, I've had to split a line coming out of where the water tank line goes in, and I didn't look at it.
Where does it go? Where does that split go? Where did it split?
To a bidet.
Oh yeah. Well, again, that's understandable, but I mean, I can't get over that water just yet. Even though I think a bidet would be a good idea.
You just reminded me of a prank I did in college, Damon, where I disconnected the feed line from the tank of one of the toilets in the dorm and directed it forward, so when the person flushed, it sprayed water at them.
It's kind of fun.
It was pretty funny at the time. especially when it happened because there was like there was on the inside of the stall door there was like a dry outline of a person. You know what I mean?
Like it just blasted them.
Yeah, totally blasted. It was great. It was a funny. I mean, it was 18. You know, it was a stupid prank. But anyway,
I feel like the problem with bidets at Disney is that the U.S. isn't really used to them, and I think it would be a tough sell.
I would agree with that. Like, it's not something that we really have, although it's becoming more popular, Damon. I mean, like, there's a lot of
I would agree.
I see constant ads for those ones that like attach onto your toilet and you can buy. Like, I've looked. I told my
wait, Trevor, is your bidet heated water? Or
no,
not?
I didn't pay for the heated one.
So isn't it kind of cold in those cold times by you?
No, not really. I mean, okay. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I mean, you're right.
In all your toilets or just one?
We just did one for now. But it is becoming more common. Like you said, it's more, I've had other family members install them. Like people, it doesn't get talked about a lot, but it's, people are starting to do it because honestly, it makes sense. And yeah, I get what you're saying that, culturally it's a bit strange still, or it's a bit foreign to us, but but Disney, I guess, doesn't always need to adhere to, what's common, right?
Well, I guess here's the question then, right? So if you're not going to add it to all of them, which resorts does it fit in at the most? And I'm going to say Grand Floridian and Riviera. Those are my two.
Okay.
I was going to say the Resort Loop resorts, like all the ones around Magic Kingdom, but
Like all of them,
Riviera
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it feels like it would kind of fit into the contemporary, well, at Bay Lake, right? I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
No.
Let's go back then to Keith's question. Never asked for a room view request. Staying at Saratoga preferred this summer. Would love a Disney Springs view. What are the chances, and how do we go about doing it? I don't know what the chances are, but
yeah.
But
it just depends on who's there, right?
It does. I've always heard, the thing that people will tell you is and this sounds crazy, but there are like fax numbers out there where you can like fax in a room request. I don't know. Like, it's hard to kind of judge like how effective these things are. But one thing I know that people have had a lot of luck with is Touring Plans does room requests. So like you can do an automatic room request through them. Like you can pick which room you want, and then like they'll request it for you. And now I don't know how they do it, but I've heard that some people have good luck with that. I can't really vouch for them as much as I want to, but I've heard people have good luck with it.
But let me simplify this. Every time I've ever done a room request, you just phone the DVC member's number and you tell them to put in a room request for you. And they'll open up your booking, and you just say, they obviously can't do like specific rooms, but like I've done this for mine is, I've specifically said, I want this building. I want upper floors, stuff like that. Like you can say all that.
Always like upper floors.
Yeah.
Always got to have upper.
Yeah. You can say all that. And I think the key is that, or I can't remember. I had this conversation briefly with one of the agents, and it is basically a first come, first serve. So if you want, the sooner you put it in, the better. Like, I think that's as complicated as it needs to be. So
yeah, so put it in as early as you can is what you're saying.
Yeah. And as long as it's on there, they'll try. It's not a guarantee. You'll never get guaranteed what you want. But so to the point of what are the chances? I mean, yeah, it depends on the time of year, and it depends on how quickly you put in your request. So
yeah. See, I'm just like, I don't really care about room requests. Maybe it's just me. Like, I always do like the little preference thing, like close to the elevator or whatever.
I just don't want to be on the
Yeah.
Oh, you like to be close to the elevator?
No. Like I'm saying as an example of like they close to the elevator, close to the lobby, close to transportation. Like those are like the different things that they usually have.
Yeah, I don't ever want to be close to the elevator,
mm-hmm.
and I don't want to be on the first floor. That's usually my things.
I mean, I can see that. I get that. Why you wouldn't want those things? Yeah, makes sense. All right, so who wants to read Connor's question?
Yeah, so Connor says, if you could retheme one DVC resort, building location stays the same. What resort would you choose, and what theme would you go with? So, I would love to retheme the Grand Floridian and make it a proper Western resort. Not like Wilderness Lodge, which is like nature, like a Western resort, like Frontierland type deal.
Like a ranch.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Fort Wilderness kind of more that, right? Like,
no, but again, that's not a DVC resort, and it's not a campground. Yeah. This is like you walk in and it looks like the inside of a saloon.
There's a difference between a campground and a ranch.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
I don't know what I'm taking. I don't know. I'd love to take the Polynesian and turn it into a DuckTales resort. It just seems so crazy. I just don't know.
That's really funny.
I mean, I think you'd almost have to take like art animation and flip it into an 80s cartoon resort.
Well, this is DVC resorts, though.
Yeah, but then just a DVC, I guess it's got to be Polynesian and DuckTales, I guess, or Gummy Bear, something along those lines. Give me something like that, but it just seems so unrealistic. So I think what I would really do is I'd take anything and turn it into a ski resort. I don't even care which DVC. It doesn't even matter, to be honest with you.
So you keep the location the same, but there would just suddenly be a giant ski hill at...
Yeah. Themed ski, obviously, right? We're in Florida, so themed ski. But yeah. I definitely... And I don't even care which one it is, to be honest with you.
All right. I think I would do... there were a couple proposed hotels that ended up being on the site of... we're supposed to go around Bay Lake, right? And... We had talked about this before, but there was supposed to be an Asian themed resort that like sat in the water, essentially, where Grand Floridian is, and I think it would be cool. I obviously there's no love for Grand Floridian amongst this group because we're talking about.
I love Grand Floridian.
I like it too, but yeah, good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have. I like all the different resorts for their different, their different themes. So I'd hate to retheme one. Go ahead. What?
I'd almost take something like the Universal has over at the Royal Pacific. I'd like to see Disney have something like that, which is more of that Asian theme. That would be cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this Asian resort was like gonna be built, right? And it was gonna be. It looked pretty cool. It had some really interesting. I mean, almost all of the views would have like lake views or garden views, and it looked really neat. And ended up not happening, of course, but and eventually ended up being Grand Floridian. But I think it'd be cool to kind of go back to that and go back to some of those original plans. So yeah, that's a good question. I don't think we've done that one before, but who knows, maybe we did. All right, so Dan, and this is Dan H, if I remember correctly when I wrote this. So funny story. The Olympics are on, obviously, and I was up late last night watching the Olympics because I like watching the Olympics, and so I was watching the snowboarding, the women's snowboarding final, and I completely forgot I needed to write the podcast, so it got really late, and I just I totally forgot that I needed to do this, and so I forgot to write Dan H in there because I was getting a little tired, I think. So anyway. And I also have to say, Trevor, I was going to message this to you. The Canadian delegation, the outfits, the uniforms they were wearing when they came in were pretty cool. I liked theirs. They were cool.
Were they?
So, I liked it.
I actually didn't even watch the opening ceremonies. I went straight. So we have a streaming service here called CBC Gem, and they put all the events into like you can watch all the old events or the events after they've been live.
That's how YouTube TV is here. Like I have YouTube TV and it records everything and breaks them down by events. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so
it was great. You could just hit one button and just say record Olympics.
Yep.
It was great.
Oh, it's best. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So I didn't even like go to the opening ceremonies. I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch like the snowboarding qualifiers, and like I totally missed that.
Yeah, I usually like the opening ceremonies and usually watch them, and but that's the great thing. Like Damon was saying, like literally on YouTube TV, it was just like, do you want to record the Olympics? And it was like you can record individual events that you like, or you can just record everything. Cool. And so we just record everything.
I think in the interest of just the betterment of the episode, I'm going to have to leave, which is not even of my own accord this time, which is even worse.
For once, yeah.
Yeah. But I have to talk, then if that's the case, I have to talk about these costumes. We have to skip ahead. I have to get costume talk.
Let's do it. We can come back.
Why are these not mandatory?
All right, so wait,
That's really my only question.
Let's talk about what we're going to talk about first here. Okay, so this is the Disney has put on Shop Disney the costumes for Galactic Starcruiser that you can buy. I'm assuming you could buy these on the Starcruiser too, but these I'm guessing you can buy ahead of time on Shop Disney. And it looks like anybody can. But you have to.
They can't.
No, you have to have a reservation.
I just tried to buy them right now.
Okay,
you cannot.
So you have to have the reservation attached to your.
You can even try sneaky and try to check out as guest, and it says nope.
Won't let you do it.
Log in.
Okay, so you have to. These are the approved costumes, I guess, right?
But why are they not mandatory?
Like,
because then people would go.
To that end, like it's for the amount that you're paying for this thing.
It's a nickel and dime thing. I feel
it does. Like they're charging you anywhere between looks like 70 and
$150 for a cloak.
Yeah, $70 and $200 for an outfit, and
like,
the
Organa security aid cloak should not be $70. I feel like,
because
what's weird is you have that, but then you have this formal tunic, which is the same price, and there's no way that they're at the same level. There's no way.
I like the formal tunic though. That's a good look right there.
Formal tunic's cool. You know what I like the best though, and I'm a little upset the best, is the captain's jacket is fire.
Where's the captain's? Is that all the way at the? Where's that?
Oh yeah,
it's over to the right.
That one
that's fire.
Oh yeah,
that
one is pretty cool.
that one's cool. Like it's This is the thing is that for all the money that you would spend on this, it even for a family of four, you're in for what another $300-$400 just for
Easy.
Clothes. Like,
yeah,
if you want to dress up, that's why it's not mandatory, right? So
I wish it should just be mandatory and sent to you,
included. I guess.
Like you have a band. Okay, pick out your color band. Pick out your outfit, man.
It's like part of your. It's like your free magic band that you get. Yeah.
Yeah, let you pick one out, and then if you want additional, you can, buy a second one.
Like if you want the gloves, all right, you can charge for the gloves, right? Like I feel like the gloves are...
I don't know. I mean,
what the first time that
you can go
I'm
buy
on this Starcruiser,
gloves like anywhere, but
yeah.
But I'm telling you, the first time I'm on this Starcruiser and I see somebody in like a Nike shirt, like it's ruined. It's over.
Which will be the vast majority of people because people are not going to pay for this, right?
No,
I mean some people will,
but it will be the whole. But I think they're trying to sell it like, well, these are otherworldly people. So if somebody's wearing like whatever shirt or shorts and whatever, it's like, well, they're otherworldly people. They're from Earth. Like no. But everyone has to dress.
It's
up.
also worth noting, though. I don't think they're making you only like you can dress in your own stuff. Like if you bring your own Star Wars cosplay outfit, you can wear that. I don't think they have.
How cool though would it be if everyone had to buy this stuff?
I mean, it would be cool if everybody was wearing the same kind of stuff. Yeah, I agree.
If they offered it to the point where the vast majority of people were wearing it, I think even to your point, Damon, about hey, one or two people showing up in their Nike stuff wouldn't be that big of a deal, but right now it's like it's the opposite, right? Like I think that's what makes this feel even worse is that you'll have you'll be able to pick out the people. It's like, oh, that guy spent a bunch of money on this shirt or whatever, right? Like it's
You see a family with, 5, whatever outfits for $150. Yeah, that's a lot of loot.
Yeah. Or it'll be,
I don't know. I think
or it'll be just the dad and the kids will be.
I'm just going to go just with the gloves. I'm going to go with
you're just
the
gonna wear
gloves.
A tracksuit with the gloves.
Tracksuit with the gloves.
Yeah, it's a good look.
I don't know. I just felt like this could have totally been this great scenario if you had people have to wear this stuff. I mean, it's so tough because when you say have to, it just makes it. But again, this is an experience that it's a private experience. So
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like when people have black tie events, they don't let people in the door that are wearing tracksuits.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just thinking of somebody wearing a tracksuit, wearing that cloak, that $150 cloak, and then just flipping the cloak off to reveal the tracksuit underneath.
And it has to be like a baby blue crushed velvet track.
Yeah.
I feel like
That
would make it way better.
that is how you'd show up to a Galactic Starcruiser. It's just a tracksuit.
Absolutely,
Got to be as comfortable as possible, right? So
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean,
So I'm gonna have to go because I think my Chromebook's gonna end up kicking me out. I have it timed down pretty well. I think I have like 2 minutes before I get kicked out again.
Okay, got it.
It fills up and then just kicks.
And then just kicks you out. Okay, well,
yeah.
sorry, Damon.
May the force be with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see your tracksuit and gloves picture. Make sure you share that with
That's
us.
excellent.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stay until I actually get kicked out.
You have
We'll see
you
how
got to
long.
do the long gloves too. It can't just be the short gloves.
Yeah.
And that's-
absolutely.
Yeah, it's got to be the long gloves.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's a short glove option
Over the
and a long
tracksuit.
glove. Yeah. The question is, do
Well,
you,
no. The arms of the tracksuit are pulled up.
yeah.
Oh, you
Right,
roll
so
up
you
the
can pick
sleeves
it up.
and you got the long.
Yeah,
gloves,
Yeah. The sleeves get rolled up because you got to see all the gloves. You can't just, you
Mhm.
can't have the gloves tucked.
Oh,
in.
you definitely got to flex the gloves because you got to see the stuff on the gloves.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
And that goes all the way to the top.
Oh yeah, they got little logos. They got the little Starcruiser logo on them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Gotta see
That's
that.
fancy.
I feel like there's going to be like an aftermarket for this stuff. That's
There's
like,
an aftermarket for everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you go on the Star Cruiser and then you sell it off after?
No, I mean like somebody will be manufacturing like the
Knockoff?
yeah,
gloves?
yeah, the knockoffs, right? Like yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm wondering, is there an item limit on these things? Because what's to stop? Oh yeah, okay, one per guest. Because I was going to say, what's to stop somebody with a Galactic Starcruiser reservation from going and buying all this stuff up and then selling it on eBay for way more money, which is what's going to happen anyway. But if they're only doing one per guest, I mean,
Again, you'll see that one person in the Star Cruiser with all the bags, like you always see the pictures of the shoppers.
yeah,
With like a Grogu like floating thing instead of like a cart.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, they're gonna need one of those hand trucks to get all their stuff out. Yeah, that's well, and like we talked about this, I think, when they started showing like concept art of the rooms. Like people are gonna steal those pillows and some of that other stuff and start selling that stuff on eBay. Like that stuff's 100% gonna happen, which is unfortunate. It shouldn't, but it's gonna happen. And we lost Damon again, but that's okay. We anticipated losing Damon again, so
Yeah.
it is what it is. No Damon today.
But yeah,
So
at least we got to talk about that. And yeah, it's unfortunate that it went this way because like I really wanted to be on board with this, but now that it's like, oh, the rooms are expensive. And then, you're questioning that. And then it's like, hey, if you want to do the proper, cosplay or really get into it, throw another $300 or $400 at it for a family. Yeah, they're not convincing me that this is something I want to do.
Yeah, I guess I would want to do this, but I'm not really into the cosplay, so I don't think I would show up and be want to dress.
I would do it like if I was on the Star Cruiser and it's like a once in a lifetime thing, I would do it just for that. Like I'm not a big cosplayer either, but if it was that kind of opportunity, I'd be like, yeah, let's go for it. But then they put this barrier in front of it where it's you can't. You still feel like they're like Damon said, they're nickel and diming you for it, which it's unfortunate.
Yeah, but I can understand if they were saying you're only allowed to wear this stuff, right? But they're saying you can wear whatever you want. Like, they've obvious guidelines, but like if you have like stuff already, you could wear that if you want to,
But,
like if they were
again,
making
that
it
goes to the point of
mandatory,
if you're that big a, if you're a cosplayer and you're into it, great. But, I'm not going to go source something outside of Disney just for the sake of taking it on the Star Cruiser. Like if it was offered on the Star Cruiser, I would do that, but not at the price tag that they're suggesting.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go to Etsy and get somebody to make me a Star Wars type outfit just for this. And honestly, it would probably end up being just as expensive. If
I was just going to say, it's probably going to be about the same price or more anyway, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So yeah, no, I get it. I get it. I just, I guess I'm not surprised by this. I kind of anticipated them offering this stuff, and I mean, I actually thought the prices were more reasonable than I thought they were going to be. I thought they were really going to. I mean, some of the stuff's really expensive. Like that cloak is like $150, but for like a regular, the tunic is like $70. That's like what one of the Spirit jerseys costs, right? I mean, like,
yeah. But just when I look at it, it's like for something that I would wear once, that's really expensive because, to your point, if you buy like a Spirit jersey or something, the intent is that, you buy something and you'll wear it or you'll use it. These though is, you buy it and then, I'm not going to go around in my cloak or tunic or anything like that.
You're not going to go you're not going to go grocery shopping with your Star Wars tunic on?
No, I mean, I guess, October is a good month to do that in, people like Halloween, but that's
actually, you could double it as a Halloween costume, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, there is that, but again, it's very limited on what you can do with it.
At least they do look nice though. I will say that it does look like good clothing. Like I feel
like if Dave was here, he would be saying, yeah, he would be going to the grocery store with his rolled up sleeves and the black gloves.
The gloves. Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
Typical Tuesday.
I think if I were going to buy anything, I would go with the Star Wars formal tunic. I like it. It's very classy looking, I feel like.
Yeah.
The second one in.
I mean, for what it is, like they look nice, but yeah, it sucks because it just doesn't line up with what I thought it was going to be, which is, is not fair. There was a lot of expectations put on the Starcruiser, and now that's coming around, yeah.
Did you just think it was going to be like included? Is that what you're saying? Like,
that's I was hoping, I guess, that they would, I was willing to ignore the price if it was like, hey, they give you, everyone gets like a tunic or something like that, like something basic. And then if you want more, customized or fancy stuff, you pay extra for it. But the fact that they're just starting with, here's all the stuff and you got to pay for it. Yeah, I don't like that.
I get it. Just another thing you have to pay for,
Yeah.
All right.
Well, do we want to go back and try and finish some of the listener questions?
Yeah, let's go back to the questions and finish those up since we lost Damon. But so Dan says, imagine you're a first-time DVC buyer right now. You regularly go to Disney World and have done your research into DVC and decided to buy 150 points direct. With the options available in 2022, Riviera, Alani, Grand Floridian, Disneyland Tower, Bay Lake Towers, new promotions, Old Key West, all the other resorts, what do you pick for yourself? I mean, if I were going to buy direct again, I'd probably buy Riviera just because it's the newest and I like the access to the Skyliner and it seems really nice. I'd probably go with that.
Okay. He put the Disneyland Tower on here, even though it's not actually available yet. That would have actually been my choice if I was doing this right now. Yeah. And because our original conversation when we started looking at DVC was we were going to Disneyland and we were looking at Grand Californian. So
makes sense.
Yeah. So if I did this now, I would, I feel like, again, not even knowing the pricing on Disneyland Tower yet, Grand Californian was very small and very limited. I know that the price will still be expensive for Disneyland Tower, but I think I would be looking there first, just because, it's closer. It would make more sense to me right now. Yeah.
I get that. That makes total sense, and I think a lot of people are going to want to buy there, right? I mean, that's going to be a popular option, I think. So, Nick also via email. Do you want to read this one, or do you want me to read it?
Yeah. I can get this one. So Nick says, "Hi guys, I wanted to pass along a potential news story. I recently added a small contract. When reviewing the details, I noticed this change under the category of member benefits. The paragraph this paragraph was new. I found it interesting that you could bank to not only the next use year, but the use year that follows the next use year. While these expeditions are so point expensive, they're still out of my price range. Regardless, I thought you would find it an interesting change. So yeah, so I guess what it's saying, members can move vacation points from their current use year into the next use year or into the use year that follows the next use year.
For the purpose specifically of booking Adventures by Disney or National Geographic's expeditions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, only for that, right? So that's,
I see. Okay,
I'm not sure how you specify that. I guess you have to probably call, right? Like,
yeah,
because I don't think you can specify that online. But I mean, I think this is. I don't know if this is a change or not. I mean, I didn't notice it before. I do think that they probably realize that it's kind of a lot of points to book Adventures by Disney. So
they're letting you use an extra year if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Borrow like 2 years worth of points.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. Yeah.
I'm noticing further down here, it also says, just like everything else, when you move points out of DVC proper, a $95 transaction fee at the time of booking. So yeah, you could book something 2 years out using like your current year's points. You can push it that far, but keep in mind, this is like, going into, I keep wanting to call it RCI. What's the new one? Interval. Yeah, interval. Yeah. So it's the same kind of idea, is that when you move the points out of DVC proper, they charge you a transaction fee for that, and you can't move the points back. So you got to be really sure that this is something you want to do, because if those points are booked in Adventure by Disney or National Geographic expeditions, you're not getting them back for anything else.
Yeah, and if you look at this too, right? So I just quickly pulled up an Adventures by Disney one, right? And this is for a river cruise, right? So it's Adventure by Disney river cruise. You're talking per person. The lowest I'm seeing is 493 points.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points. So, and I mean, for most people, now there's some people that have thousands of points, but even think about this, even if you had 2,000 points, right, that you had, and you wanted to book 4 people, that's all your points for a year. Still, it's a lot of points. So, yeah, I mean, I get why they would do this, because I'm sure they figured out that very few people were using their points for Adventures by Disney, right? So,
yeah, and it makes sense that that they're making it a little more accessible, because there's probably not a lot of people doing it. The final, or Nick's actual question on this is that he says, have you always been able to bank 2 years ahead for Adventures by Disney? Honestly, I never looked at it that close. Yeah, and sure. This could have been a regular thing, but like to what we're talking about here, I don't think anyone looks at Adventures by Disney that close to really pay attention to it.
I would agree
using it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess we don't really know, Nick, on if this was a regular thing, but honestly, knowing that it's once you book it, it's done thing. You don't, or I don't see this as a huge benefit personally.
Yeah, me either. Yeah, I would rather use my points for. I mean, I could see people that have, maybe people that don't go to the parks anymore, or, but still want to keep their DVC and maybe do just resort trip only, or, and then wanting to use their points for something like this. That makes sense. That I could see somebody doing that, but I don't know. It's just not. And this is a good call out, by the way, for noticing this, because I mean, like Trevor said, I never noticed it, so it could have been there for a while. I don't know. I did notice in the contract, that it was revised for January of 2022. So they did make some revisions to the contract. So, but I don't know if this was one of them. In fact, I really haven't seen this mentioned on any of the DVC sites or in the groups or anything. So I think this is a pretty good call out. But it's interesting. I just would never think to do that, and I would just never think to use my points for Adventures by Disney.
to use 2 years worth of points too, right? Like if you think about that, you're basically locking yourself out of booking any regular DVC stuff for up to 2 years.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not something I would be interested in doing. So, all right, should we do our ad?
Yeah.
All right. So our ad this week is for Monera Financial. Monera, a World of DVC company, is the industry leader for financing DVC resale contracts. Monera offers lending with the longest terms available at 12 years, the option of no credit check, instant approval, low down payments, and no prepayment penalties. If you're thinking of purchasing a DVC contract on the resale market, go check out their quick online quote first. You may be surprised at just how affordable joining DVC can be. Go to monerafinancial.com or call 317-245-8800, and when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. All right. So speaking of DVC, some DVC news, some minor news here, right? So coming up here, we have the Grand Floridian, converting that one building to DVC rooms. And so, it's supposed to open this summer, right? Time is flying by here, but I remember when they announced this, it's supposed to be summertime. And now given summer's a little bit, of a broad time period, it could be the end of summer. But the fact that they've declared half the rooms at the new studios, it tells you that they're about to start selling these. Like they're going to get ready to start selling these points to members or whoever, right? So it's new members or old members. So a total of 101 resort studios were added to the program, representing half the 202 rooms making up the project. And so, these rooms, it's a little weird because they include the third floor, the fourth floor, fifth floor of the building. And so that's kind of how these are done. But there should be some so it doesn't matter where the rooms are going to be. That's just kind of how they're declaring them, right? Yeah. So anyway, so this is like the first step we're taking towards this actually being sold. And, if history is any, indicator of future, Derek, I think, was on here and he said, he worked at DVC when they originally sold Grand Floridian and they were selling it like, insanely fast. So I'll be interested to see what's going to happen. And it's, by the way, this is from DVC News, who we've had on here before. They're friends of the show. So, and they did mention here their Copper Creek Villas and Cabins at Wilderness Lodge opened sales 15 days after the rooms were declared. So this news came out on February 4th. So before the end of the month here, we'll see probably some sales starting for the new Grand Floridian rooms.
Yep. And so just another detail. So of these 101 rooms declared, so they're all studio rooms, 82 of them have connecting doors. So that allows up to 41 2-room pairs. So, similar how you get in some of the other resorts, they call them the lock-offs, right? Is that?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if I guess you were planning to buy Grand Floridian and do that where, you get 2 adjacent rooms and share them between a couple of families or whatever, there's up to 41 room pairs, which that's a good number. Like yeah. I mean, this is to your point and to what Derek said, I wouldn't be surprised if these sell out really fast because, I know a lot of people like Grand Floridian. And, given the opportunity to get into it, and if, I know they also have the different room types, so, you can bounce between the studios and the 1 bedrooms and everything.
Yeah.
I can see this selling out pretty quick.
I can see it too. One thing they don't list on here is how many points are actually going to be available. Like how many points they're putting into this. Just and that's a lot of times they'll say the 101 rooms represent this many points, right? But that information is not on here probably because maybe that information is just not out there yet. But they did go and note too, like I mentioned, that the 101 rooms have no bearing on room assignments once the building's open. So even though they declared the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor, it doesn't mean that you're only going to be able to stay on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th floor. Right. So that's kind of how these things work. But this declaration is the first step for them, getting ready to sell. these actual points, and right ahead of being able to start to start actually staying in these rooms, which will be fairly soon here. Seems like they moved very quickly on this. I mean, I guess they didn't have to do too much work to just to redo the rooms a little bit,
Yeah, exactly. It's not like they were building entirely new. It was more renovations and then prepping it for DVC. So yeah, it shouldn't take as long as when they were building Riviera, and that was all from scratch.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm still surprised they were able to get this done this quickly though too. And that because I mean when did they announce this last year? I don't even remember. It was late last year. It wasn't. I mean, they didn't even start working on this. They're going to get all this done in like 6 months to 8 months.
I want to say
fast.
Yeah, I want to say we talked about it like around September, October.
That's what I was thinking too. But I'm trying to look back and see. Let's see here.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a weird time bubble right now, I guess.
Wow, that was May of last year, really? How?
Okay, so I guess it's fair that it's coming now.
Wow. Okay. I swear to you, I thought that was like October. I was thinking the same thing, Trevor.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That was all the way back in May of last year. Man, last year really flew by. Okay. Well, so it's still though, to get all this done in a year, especially when, a lot of construction projects are taking a long time, it's pretty impressive. So summer 2022, these are supposed to open. And like I said, they're going to start selling soon. So that's exciting.
Yeah. And, we already talked about the Starcruiser costumes, so we won't beat that up anymore. The next thing we got is Disney World simplifies the friends and family linking in My Disney Experience with a scannable QR code, which, this is great. I think maybe, or not a lot of people understand why QR codes are good or what they are,
what their purpose is.
Yeah. So a QR code, for anyone who doesn't know, it looks like a weird square, it's got a bunch of dots and stuff in it, but when you scan it with the phone, it will translate that into usually it's actually just like a string of text, but that usually ends up being like a link to a website or something like that. So what they've done is they built it out so that before you had to send an email, or the person had to, or how was it? I'm trying to remember.
I did this with an email. It would send an email, and the person would have to like click a button and log into their account and confirm that you were friends. Like it was not the best process.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the intent here is that, if you're meeting up with your friends, they bring up their QR code. So there'll be an option in your My Disney Experience to generate your QR code, and then somebody else scans it, and then it goes, "This is you." Yep. And then that's it. And so
it's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Way smarter, and means you don't I remember doing this with my friends when we all went together in 2019, and it was like, it was chasing them back and forth and I didn't get the email. Oh, what is this? And all that. Whereas this would be like, hey, get your phone out, sign into My Disney Experience. Okay. We've shared that together. That's actually, we should probably use this when we go for the meetup in May, 100%. Because you have an annual pass, right, Tom?
Yep. I
don't really want to pay for my my ride photos. so
well, I don't have the photo pass option. Oh,
okay.
It doesn't come with it anymore. Remember?
Right. So, yeah. Okay. Well, that's disappointing. Okay.
Well, we can always buy one-off stuff if we want to. So
yeah.
That
plan. Oh well.
By the way, this article, normally I try to get Disney sources for things, but in this case I could not. So the screenshots in the article that we're looking at are from Blog Mickey. I'll give them credit because we don't want to take anybody else's content without giving them credit. So so this is from Blog Mickey, and they have some really great screenshots about this. But this is. I know everybody hates Disney IT and Disney technology, but I do think that they are making strides in usability and trying to make things easier for everybody. I know like it's the more of like, you know, the error codes and things crashing and all that stuff, and that stuff happens. But this kind of stuff, adding new features like this is awesome. Especially this was definitely a pain point for people. You know, this was a not an easy thing to deal with, and anybody that has, you know, been with other groups of people outside of your immediate family and tried to make plans together, it's a pain. So now this is so much easier, and this is great that they finally did this. So
yeah, so if you're that person in your family and you're the planner, or you know, you take control of everything, all you have to do is say, you know, get your phone, sign into your app, let me see the QR code, and then you can scan it and make any plans you want at that point. Because you know, once you've linked the accounts, you can do all the bookings and all that stuff. So,
well, and this, you know, this would have come in handy when I like was just there in November, because I was with two friends that, you know, I was linked to, you know, I was with my sister and her boyfriend, but also we had two other friends join us, and they're not necessarily the most Disney literate people, right? And so for me to try to like set all that up and, you know, do the email address, like this would have been so much easier. We could have gotten it done in 10 seconds, you know, to plan everything together. Instead, we were just like, you know, finding Lightning Lane reservations and hoping they were around the same time. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it was going. Although they were on the DAS, you know, they were on the disability.
The assisted. Yeah.
Yeah. So I forget how theirs worked, but it was, you know, they still had to look up times and everything. So we were, but making the plans together was a little more challenging, you know?
Yeah.
So this definitely helps. Man, this is gonna be a short show today. It's gonna be what we wanted to do when we first started doing weekly, around an hour. Like this is excellent.
Well, but you know, and it's also that time of year, right? You know, there's, you know, things are starting to happen. I did, and actually, sorry, before we get into this next one, I did see. Sorry, I should probably go and quote who this was in the group. We did see that we had talked last week about Phantasmic, and it looks like the moat is being filled. And sorry, I can't.
That got posted like right after we finished recording too, and I saw the moat's filled. It looks like the boat is refurbished. If you don't follow BioReconstruct on Twitter, that guy takes all the overhead pictures of the parks and everything. That guy's awesome. Yeah. So, he always is the one that like posts all that stuff. And so where you can actually like see what's going on in the park. So I think the photos came from him, because all the Disney blogs use his stuff.
But I wanted to credit who posted it in our group, which I'm just,
I think it was Lee. I think it was Lee.
It Lee?
I think so.
Okay. I wasn't 100% sure, and I didn't want to misspeak.
Yeah. So anyway, BioReconstruct is he's or she. I don't know if it's he or she. I have no idea. But yeah, they post all sorts of cool pictures of overhead stuff, and there's some really interesting things. But yeah, that was one of them where it looks like they're finishing up the refurbishment. I do think we'll probably see like an announcement fairly soon, like in the next month or two, of when that's going to, when that's going to be done. But I don't know. We're going to have to see.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess, again, just to circle back on this from the last episode, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, them filling the moat means, you know, they probably want to start doing some testing and training and all that. So filling the moat doesn't mean that it'll be open in like April.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. Yeah.
It still kind of lines up to me that I'm thinking, you know, June kind of time frame seems reasonable.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
that makes sense. So I will have to see. We have no idea, right? I mean, they're probably not even going to announce it until it's like a month out, right? So a month or two at the most, I would say. Because they want to like build some hype, but also not be like, hey, 6 months from now it's going to open. You know what I mean? It's like,
and like I said, you know, for the shows that they've already announced that are opening here in the next month or two, they'll build those up, and then once they're open, you'll probably see the next round of announcements.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. All right, you want to talk about some food here?
Yeah. So Valentine's Day stuff. I don't really do Valentine's Days, but okay. But it's
I don't care what the theme of it is. I just like looking at food and talking about food. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So let's see here. We got flourless chocolate cake at a Coral Reef. It doesn't really do anything for me. Looks all right.
Yeah.
I like my cake to have flour in it.
and then to up the ante, Le Cellier has flourless chocolate cake for $2.
Take that, Coral Reef.
Yeah.
The Canadians are coming for you.
Yeah. Instead of it being a straight line or like a bar, it's a circular cake. So
it's pretty much exactly the same. Like even with all the toppings on top of it, it's the exact same cake, except it's slightly larger and a different.
You go to one restaurant if you're single on Valentine's Day, and you go to another one if you're a couple. That's kind of rude, I guess.
Yeah, a little bit. But I get it. Yeah. I do have to say these engagement ring cakes look pretty cool.
They do, actually.
Yeah, I mean they're really well done. It's chocolate.
This is at ABC Commissary. Yeah,
Commissary. Yeah. So they're like a chocolate filled cake with raspberry sauce atop a shortbread cookie, complete with a white chocolate engagement ring. Now, I would say if you're, dating somebody and not engaged or married, you should probably be careful about buying this.
Yeah, it's actually, it would be a good proposal kind of thing if you were going to do that around Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. As long as you're the person you're proposing to isn't, too bougie and like it's mad that you propose with a cupcake. But
well, I mean, you don't just like give the cupcake. Like maybe it's a lead-in kind of thing. But
I feel like it could be a good celebration after you get engaged, right? You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people get engaged at Disney, including me, and you could do it afterwards to celebrate. It's like your little engagement.
I'm looking at the picture and I'm focusing on the giant rock of sugar on top of the ring and how much that would hurt my teeth.
Oh, yeah, for 100%. Yeah, that would not feel good for sure. Yeah. But I mean, it still looks cool. It's well done for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing I know it's funny because when I see people say the quality of food at Disney is not as good as it used to be, or just not good in general. I look at some stuff like this and I'm like, the fact that they're able to mass produce something that looks this cool, I mean, is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I just wish they would step it up the next level like they do with the international parks.
Yeah, it's understood.
This is the right direction, though. Absolutely, like it's like you said, theming wise, it looks like something you should find in a Disney park.
Absolutely. So we got a red velvet and white chocolate mousse top of chocolate cookie. That looks pretty good, although it looks like the same cookie that's underneath the one we just talked about. Which
again, talking about the mass producing things, they probably made a bunch of these cookies and went, okay, how can we use these 5 different ways, right?
Which is understandable for something like Valentine's Day, which they're only doing these treats for 3 days, right? Like this is like a 3-day thing. So it's literally February 11th to the 14th. So like, I kind of get it, right? Like it's they're going to be special things, but they're trying to make as good a use as of some of the same stuff as possible, right? Then we have red velvet whoopie pie. I'm in for that. That sounds good. Red velvet cake, cream cheese buttercream topped with strawberry buttercream. So
coincidentally, my wife actually made whoopie pies yesterday. She found a recipe that she wanted to try, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, I have a whoopie pie downstairs and I want to go eat it now.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. I mean, it's red velvet and cream cheese will always be, I'll be on board for that.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I'm with you. I'm always in for red velvet and cream cheese buttercream. That sounds delicious.
Yep.
Let's see what
this next one looks good too. The Sweetheart chocolate cupcake. This says it's available at multiple resorts, so that's kind of nice. You can find it. They list Art of Animation, Caribbean Beach, Port Orleans,
and that one's the 9th through the 20th too. So that one's available for a little bit longer too. So chocolate hazelnut, strawberry buttercream. Sorry,
sorry. I'm just reading through, and this is at all of the moderate and value resorts that they have this. Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. I'm in for that. It looks pretty good. It sounds good too. I mean, like I said, hazelnut cream topped with chocolate hazelnut, strawberry buttercream, a white chocolate heart, and strawberry crisp pearls. That sounds good. I'm always up for anything that says hazelnut, chocolate hazelnut. Anytime you got that in there, I'm in. So,
I'd make a trip over to Port Orleans to grab one of these.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
All right, and
what is this thing down here?
So we have a sundae and then the Mickey and Minnie bouquet, which looks like they're both using Mickey waffles or red velvet Mickey waffles, which I like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then the bouquet one, they dip the ears in like chocolate too, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and yeah, actually, it's Mickey and Minnie waffles, so it looks like they're doing. They have two different molds for the waffles.
Now I'm forgetting whether this was in my personal life or in my or on the podcast. Was somebody yelling on one of the podcasts about wanting a Donald Duck waffle instead of a Mickey waffle?
What? Yeah,
that was on the podcast, right? I can't remember.
Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, weren't we looking at the food at like Shanghai?
That's
or something
what it was.
Like that?
Yeah, that's right.
And they had a Donald Duck one, and I was like,
yeah,
we need Donald Duck waffles here. Like,
that's right. That's where it came from. I sometimes it's hard to remember what we actually talk about on the show and what gets talked about outside of the show. So
right? It
all kind of mixes together. That's why it's funny. Like whenever somebody like posts in the group and they're like, "You said this thing on that episode," I'm like, "I did." I'm like, I don't remember that because we forget. I forget immediately what we say on the show after we say it.
If this wasn't recorded, we wouldn't know half of what we said.
Nope, definitely not. So, what else we got here? What is this thing? This peanut buttery looking thing?
The Valentine's Day candy bar. Is that the one you're looking at?
Oh, see, but then I read the ingredients and I don't want any of that. It's coconut apricot,
caramel, pistachio, and cashew bar, coated with milk chocolate and topped with chai cream, red velvet crumbs, and raspberry gel. That's a lot going on in a candy bar.
It is a lot, and I think the only parts of it I would want were the cashew and the caramel. I don't like coconut, apricot. Milk chocolate though. I mean, I'm always good with milk chocolate, and chai cream. No.
I would. Everything sounds good to me here, except the apricot feels like it doesn't fit. But I get the feeling it would be one of those things that once you try it, it would be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
I'd probably try it because it just, it's probably good. I mean, I'm sure it's good. I've never had anything bad at Sanaa, so I'm sure it's probably. And by the way, that's one that's only available on Valentine's Day. I should mention that. Yeah, that's an exclusive Valentine's Day one.
Yeah, got a lineup at Sanaa on February 14th.
It's a good thing that Damon isn't here because this cannoli over here, he'd be appalled that there's a cannoli with what is it? Strawberry. It's cannoli. It looks like it doesn't say what's in the cannoli, does it? It's just listing it in a list: cannoli, coconut macaroons, sugar cookies, and Mickey cinnamon rolls.
Yeah. It doesn't. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't say what's in there. Yeah, I guess assume it's just a cannoli with red sprinkles on it.
Okay, so maybe Damon wouldn't be that appalled by it. But
no.
Chocolate chip strawberries, of course, that's always a good one. Marshmallow mountain cake, sugar cookie with a mountain of vanilla marshmallow topped in white chocolate and finished with Valentine's Day sprinkles. All right. It feels like a lot of marshmallow to me, though. I like marshmallow, but it feels like maybe too much.
Yeah. It always looks good, but then, after you get like 2 or 3 bites in, it's usually not as good as you think it is.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right. So now, Flying Fish has a Coca Breach vanilla custard. What is I don't know what that means.
I mean, I know there's Cocoa Beach, but are they saying breach because there's like a thing sticking out of the top of it? I don't know. It's kind of
I'm not sure what that like is. It supposed to be like a lava cake or something? It's
kind of looks like it. Cocoa Breach vanilla. What is Cocoa Breach? I've never heard of that. Now I gotta Google. Cocoa Breach. No, see, like I Google it though, and it comes up with Cocoa Beach.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what this is.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave that alone. And
yes, Google. I meant Cocoa Breach.
Yeah. So here we actually have. So everything we've been talking about has been, it's a lot of desserts. Trattoria El Forno has a porterhouse beefsteak for $2. So, if you're actually wanting to go and have a proper meal with your Valentine, you can get, steak with garlic butter, truffled gnocchi gratin, and pancetta Brussels sprouts. I mean, that sounds pretty fancy and pretty nice.
It does. I like all of those things except for the steak part, but all the other stuff sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And this also might include my favorite dessert too, which is a cherry cordial brownie base, chocolate crunch mousse, cherry filling, and amaretto panna cotta. That sounds fantastic to me. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a good cherry cordial. So yeah, that sounds really good. Oh man, there's like a lot left on this page. We need to go faster.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, let's get. All right.
There's a lot on here. My gosh.
Steakhouse 71 strawberry chocolate chip pancake. That's a weird choice. They don't even have a picture of it.
They don't. I guess that's a breakfast item, obviously, or do they have that all day?
Yeah, chocolate chip pancake with raspberry cream cheese icing, strawberries, and a chocolate strawberry sauce.
That does sound good. I mean,
yeah, just that's weird though for like Steakhouse 71.
Yeah,
like that's a pretty that better be a good pancake because I guess if I'm going there, I would expect it to be good.
Yeah, I really want to eat there. Actually, that one's on my list now because I've heard so many good things. Even though I know I've heard a couple people had bad meals there, but I mean I mostly have heard overwhelmingly good things. So. I have to check that out. Let's see. Oh, we got Mickey shaped beignets, and also ones that it looks like you inject liquor into.
the Baton Rouge beignets.
Yeah. Some cinnamon whiskey, so you can inject some cinnamon whiskey into your beignets. I mean, it sounds kind of good. Cinnamon candy drizzle, Valentine's Day quins. I don't know what a quin is. Crushed cinnamon candies with a pipette of cinnamon whiskey.
Now I think that's the first dessert I've seen that looks like it would be you have to show your ID to get this dessert.
That's correct. Yes, you would have to show your ID for that.
This is also at Port Orleans, the Scat Cat Club, which
it's always where they have those beignets, right? So,
yeah.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
Roaring Fork, Wilderness Lodge. Okay, that's boring. It's a Valentine's Day cupcake. Doesn't look. I mean, the one they're selling at the Value Resorts, the Mickey and Minnie one that has the little picture of Mickey and Minnie on it.
Yeah,
that looks better than this one. And this is at Wilderness Lodge. Like, what the heck, Disney?
Yeah, it's a little weird. A little weird. This one does look very generic, right?
It does.
You'd think they'd give it some Wilderness Lodge flair.
Yeah.
One of the best cakes. One of the best cupcakes I've ever had on property was from Wilderness Lodge, from Roaring Fork. They had a s'mores cupcake that was amazing.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I'm sure, they're saying it's a strawberry cupcake with custard filling and buttercream and all that, but it's like, yeah, it looks like just a pretty basic cupcake.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what are you doing, guys?
Well, then we go down to Amorette's at Disney Springs, and we got these beautiful looking chocolate dipped strawberries and this really cool heart strawberry shortcake
cake.
Yeah, that just looks really cool. Amorette's always has cool stuff. So
yeah, I like how on the cake, like it's that heart shaped cake, but then in the corner it looks like they did like some embroidery with the chocolate.
Oh yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah,
it's very very intricate looking design. So yeah, it
is.
Yeah.
And then we the ganachery has one of those piñatas, which I've always wanted to do one of those too, filled with marshmallow and chocolate. Yeah, a little hammer. Yeah, I want to break my dessert. Yeah. How do you feel about the Dole Whip chocolate and strawberry swirl? I know you're a purist on this. You're a purist on the
Okay, no. To be fair, I've had other flavors of Dole Whip and they just weren't good at the time. Like I tried the lime and stuff like that, and it didn't. The pineapple has still been my favorite. My problem here is that I don't like chocolate and strawberry together. Like generally, I don't. Like I'll have strawberry or I'll have chocolate, but when you mix the two together, I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, this does not look appealing to me as a Dole Whip. I would just walk by this.
Yeah, I mean, it's It's whatever. It's nothing special to me. I want something fun. Now we're at Disneyland. There's Disneyland stuff. Look at that. Okay.
Red Rose Tavern. Did it have anything interesting? Why is there? No, that's the next one down.
Got the gray stuff. Which just looks like the regular gray stuff. Although, did they have the gray stuff at Disneyland? Do they serve that somewhere there?
I don't remember. Actually, I thought they did have it somewhere. It's obviously there's no Be Our Guest. But,
that's what I was saying, because it's only a Be Our Guest at Disney World. So
yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh, look at this spicy Nash chicken sandwich, fried breaded chicken, and house-made Nashville hot inspired sauce, pickles.
This is at Galactic Grill, which is in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, that looks delicious.
Which, okay, this is why did this make it on here?
Not sure. I don't know why that's why a Valentine's Day thing, right? Is it just because it's spicy?
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I've been hanging out with you all day. I'm really craving a chicken sandwich or a spicy chicken sandwich. Let's.
The slush does sound good though. Strawberry limeade, sliced strawberries, puree, and puree served up with a glow cube. That sounds kind of good. I'm a fan of limeade. I love limeade. Anytime limeade can be involved, I'm in.
Yeah, and it looks like that Valentine's Day thing. The chicken sandwich just it looks like just a regular fare chicken sandwich. So, and
actually, most of this stuff does, right? Like, I mean, I'm not really feeling
Valentine's Day. Look, going further down the list, like there's pizza. There's Alien Pizza Planet, which
sour cherry pretzel though sounds kind of good. Like that sounds kind of cool.
Cream cheese filled pretzel with sour cherry sugar. Oh yeah, okay, I can see that. Yeah,
I'm into that. And then the sour cherry churro, of course. I mean, I'd be down for either one of those.
Yeah. The Valentine's. Okay, so all right, so going to Tropical Hideaway, which is right by the Tiki Room. The Valentine's swirl is a Dole Whip watermelon and cherry swirl. That sounds interesting. That sounds awesome. I would try that.
That sounds good. I'd be in for that. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, let's see what else we got. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here because and see what I find that looks good. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
More chocolate strawberries, more drinks. Yeah.
I don't know.
What did you find?
I'm not seeing anything. I mean, there's a funnel cake. There's nothing that's really jumping out to me. It's like, oh, that looks really good. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty much. Oh, okay. I found one down at Hong Kong. We were just talking about this, right? Like, there's some sort of pillowy thing, but again, they don't like describe what this stuff is. They just have pictures of it, right? So there's like a.
Is that I guess that's the seasonal cake, is what they call it.
Yeah, it looks like a pillow. Do you see this thing? It looks like a
white chocolate and strawberry cake with passion fruit. But yeah, it looks like a nice little pillow.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Oh man. And then there's go ahead.
I actually like, so Tokyo Disney Resort has a hot chocolate drink that I think looks kind of interesting.
Oh
it's,
yeah.
The hazelnut flavored milk with cocoa foam featuring a chocolate slight to melt in the milk. So you get
it's a little chocolate on a stick and you put it in there.
And you stir it in. Yeah.
Ooh, that does look good. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all the food, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else we want to talk about, or we want to wrap this thing up and just have a normal episode of a podcast that most normal podcasts will do this length?
Yeah, I think this is good. I just want to, I'm thinking about this more and more, and I'm going to keep mentioning it. Is I'm getting really excited for the meetup because that's coming up in May, and hopefully we can meet as many of you as possible. But we're going to want to start solidifying plans on where to meet up and everything. So I guess, any of you that can let us know if you plan to make it, that'll definitely help us with figuring out plans. But I think at some, like Tom said earlier, at some point we're going to have to, just for the sake of getting a reservation, we're probably going to have to set a deadline, like probably middle of March, for people to confirm whether they're coming or not, because that gives us enough time to book reservations wherever we decide to go. So,
Yep.
So please start thinking about that. And, if you plan to come, let us know. Cause we'd love to meet you guys.
Absolutely. All right. Let's wrap this thing up.
Yeah. All right. So as usual, if you guys, if you want to share anything, if you, want to share stories, ask questions, like Nick sent us a great email today. Make sure you email us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. That's the first place to get a hold of us. You can always find us directly by email. If you're on social media, though, of course, we are on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, and you can also look for the Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, which is our Facebook group, and join that. Also, you can interact with us in there, and you can meet a lot of our listeners as well. It's a really great group, and you get to see all the memes and posts that come out because of the episodes every week. So if that's something that interests you, please consider checking it out. We also have YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. Again, talking about the meetup coming up, you'll be able to follow us on Instagram and YouTube and see some of the stuff we're doing as we're doing the meetup. And Tom and I were planning to, make a trip to a couple of the parks. So make sure you're subscribed there to keep up with what we're doing. And if you're interested in merchandise, make sure you go to store.welcomehomepodcast.com and check out some of the stuff we got there. We got shirts and mugs and face masks and all kinds of stuff. If you'd like to get some merchandise, that all goes towards helping support the podcast and letting us do things like this meetup that we're planning in May. So, please consider checking it out. If Patreon's more your speed, make sure you go to patreon.com/welcomehomepod. We have a couple of different levels of Patreon there that have some Patreon exclusive merchandise, and subscribing to Patreon also gets you access to our Discord server, which is another way to talk with us and some of our other listeners and get in on the conversation. Last but not least, if you want to leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify, we would really appreciate that. Of course, we would hope we're a 5-star podcast and you would feel the same way. But leaving us a review just helps more people find the podcast. So please consider doing that if you're on any of those platforms.
The reviews have been very nice lately, I have to say.
Yes.
Except for whoever gave us 4 stars on Spotify.
Oh, come on.
He had a perfect 5-star rating.
I'll admit I do that too, where I have a hard time giving the highest score, and so I'll give 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5 means to me that it's good enough, or right. It's good. I get where that line of thinking comes from.
Yeah, I get it too, but I want to be 5-star. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, just about any podcast app out there. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please give us a review, like Trevor said. Just a reminder to our listeners, Welcome Home Podcast is for entertainment only. We are not employed by the Walt Disney Company, and as such, any and all opinions we express on the show are our own, so please consult a DVC representative or Disney cast member for more information about anything we talked about today. Big thank you, as always, to World of DVC for sponsoring this podcast, and specifically to Monera Financial for sponsoring this particular episode. Join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Do a huddle when we hit a chair. How she can cuddle is no man's affair. I looked around from pole to pole, found her in a sugar bowl.